Alright, this is the turning your picture into a puzzle tutorial. First thing you want to do is duplicate your layer. So I'm going to right click, duplicate layer. And then I'm going to actually turn this little eyeball off so I don't ever have to worry about that unless I just completely mess up. Then I want to crop my picture to exactly what I want the puzzle to be. So I'm going to go over here to my tools. This is the cropping. So I highlight what my image is going to be and I hit the check mark. So that is what I'm making a puzzle out of. To make it a puzzle, you need to go up to Filter, Texture, Texturizer. It's a really hard word to say. And then right here where it says Texture, I'm going to go to Load Texture. And if you guys go to TeacherShare, Zero Pierce, Digital Photo, keep going, Puzzle, there's a Photoshop file that says puzzle. That's your puzzle texture. And you can zoom out. You don't want to make it so tiny that you're going to drive yourself nuts. And you want to mess with the relief a little bit so you can make sure you can really actually see the pieces. I'm going to hit OK. And it should turn your picture into a puzzle. If I zoom in, I can really see that. Now what I'm going to do, zoom out, is I want to go ahead and move my image over to a wooden tabletop. So this is just an image. I went onto Google and I typed in wood tabletops, and this is what I got. You could actually put it on a table, and I'll kind of show you how to mess with some perspective at the end. But just grab an image, and then you're going to use the moving tool and move your image over. So now you scale it down, and before you even start cutting or anything, I'm going to rotate this, and this is how my puzzle is going to be on the table. So I have all that set up first. Now it's just a matter of going in and pin tooling out my puzzle pieces. And you want to do this very precisely, otherwise it's not going to look good. They should look like puzzle pieces when you cut them out. They should not look like jagged, weird things. So I'm going to go around this super carefully. Alright, and when you get done with this, you connect it, right click, make selection. Since this is really tiny, if we put like a 2 or something in there, it might just fuzz away our picture, so let's put a 1 in, hit OK. And at this point I need to do layer via cut. I want to cut it out and put it on its own layer. Right now when I'm on the pen tool, if I right click, I don't get that selection. I have a selection here, so I need to go to a selecting tool to get the selecting options. So if I go over here, just as a reference for this project, go to the rectangle marquee. It might be the elliptical, but top left tool. Come back over here, and when you right click, you're going to get these options. And you want to do layer via cut because we want to pull it out of that area and be able to move it off to the side. So when I turn off what I just cut out, that piece is gone, but it's on layer 1. And I can get the moving tool, and I can pull it over here, and then I can rotate it around. So that's your assignment, is to make this puzzle look like it's being worked on. What I want you to do, your criteria, is to cut out 5 single pieces and 2 clusters, a cluster being at least 3 pieces connected together. It'd be great to grab 1 or 2 from an edge, maybe a cluster missing. Our edges aren't perfect. If you kind of look at these pieces, you got weird little things. But that's going to create the illusion you want. So 5 pieces, 2 clusters, then you're done. You're going to save it as your name puzzle. If you grabbed a table that's not angled exactly right, what you can do is go in here and go to Edit, Transform, and there's some different choices you have here. Probably perspective is your best bet to grab this, and I can make my puzzle kind of angle with my table a little bit more. You can kind of play around with which way that's going. But that's only if your original source image is something like this. Would you need to even do that? So if you got something flat like I picked, you're good to go. That's it. That's your puzzle project. And here's a few samples of just some finished ones. they've actually added the drop shadow. Let me go back and show you guys how to do that in a second. So you've got pieces cut out, you've got the clusters, the pieces, how they're kind of spread out, looking like the puzzle is being worked on. That's your goal. To add this little shadow, that's a little extreme of a shadow. Let me zoom in so you can see what this is going to do. It just gives it a little more feeling of being real. On this layer, I go down to the little F, and there's a drop shadow option. And when I scoot this over, you can see that it just added a little shadow right there. Let's see if I click that off. It's not there, and now I click it on. And that's just playing with these little things. You can see what looks good. You don't have a shadow that big because it's not going to be floating. Just the hint of a shadow is going to make your image look a little more real. So that's a good finishing touch to do. And you would need to go back and do that to each layer that you have. So I'd go back to layer 1, where all my little things were. Drop shadow, that makes him pop up a little bit. All right, good luck.